So you know how they say one thing about COVID and the vaccines, and they say you're a crazy conspiracy theorist if you think another, and then of course it just takes a couple of weeks or months, and then of course, oh yeah, you're right, the crazy conspiracies were right. What do you mean? Oh, I'm talking about masks. I'm talking about herd immunity. I'm talking about all the side effects. I'm talking about um, where the virus came from. If it was from a lab, was it? So there's nonstop lying by the establishment. And here's another one of those. So this another one. Ready? So this somebody, Dr. Michael Verbora tweeted this out. How it started, how it's going. Want to see how it started? Here's how it started. No trace of mRNA vaccine found in breast milk. Gene found that helps identify COVID-19 early. That's from July 19th, 2021. No trace. No trace of mRNA vaccine found in breast milk. None.
That's good because I drink a lot of breast milk.
Me too.
And people think it's weird. I think it's weirder to drink cow milk. I mean, not if there's mRNA in it.
How could you say? So, detection of messenger RNA COVID-19 vaccines in human breast milk. That's from the Journal of American People. What does that stand for? Journal of American Medical Association, Pediatrics? Yeah.
We Be JAMA is the name of their
We Be JAMA. So there it is. And then here's from their Twitter feed. It says trace amounts of this something JAMA. Trace amounts of COVID-19 vaccine mRNAs were detected in the breast milk of some lactating women. Caution is warranted regarding breastfeeding infants younger than 6 months in the first 2 days after maternal COVID-19 vaccine. So I guess they're saying you should wait a little longer, but this young lady says, rethinking my entire legal career, plaintiff's lawyer, probably the way to go. And this keeps happening. You know this keeps happening, right? Finally, Fauci admits COVID-19 may have come from a lab leak after his emails were exposed.
Well, I remember that happened because you reported it. And
Yeah.
I remember going, let me guess what's going to happen with this. Nothing. All you got to do is, that's why it didn't matter. He said, wear a mask, don't wear a mask,
Right.
wear a mask. Because the people that argue, they didn't watch him. They didn't watch anything they said.
No.
They heard it from someone else who has a better job than them and they want to be where they are one day. The end.
And the guy who was lying was not Joe Rogan. The guy who was lying was Dr. Fauci. The CDC is finally recognizing natural immunity. Legislators should follow suit. So do you remember all this? You remember how they said you were crazy if you thought it was a lab leak? You were a moron if you talked about natural immunity?
A friend said that to me on the phone. I want to bring it up to him and he doesn't even remember. He goes, I got one more person to talk about natural. It's just.
And now he pretends he didn't say that.
He doesn't pretend he didn't say it. He's like, oh, why are you even thinking about it? Like, he's not like on to Ukraine. It's just they all were like, they're all saying the same thing. Don't be the guy that doesn't do the thing. They're all saying the same thing.
Yeah, they're all saying don't think for yourself.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
That's what they're saying. Don't come on. Let someone else do your thinking. Like a guy like Fauci, who his emails revealed thought that masks were not effective in keeping out the virus. So here's, if you go to this study and you go to their website, it says vaccination is a cornerstone in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. They say tons of nice stuff about the vaccines. However, the initial messenger RNA vaccine clinical trials excluded several vulnerable groups. Now, to me, that's the scandal right there. But they don't call it a scandal. They're not saying that this is the scandal. Okay. They say so when they did the vaccine trials, usually a vaccine, it takes like around a decade to get approval for a vaccine. They approve these within months.
That's because of how
amazingly good they are. I know.
The adults are back in the room and they're able to get things done.
So they excluded vulnerable groups from their trials. So that's why normally it takes 10 years. So you have a lot of time. Well, who did they exclude? They excluded young children and lactating individuals, not lactating mothers. That's funny. So here we are. We're full blown.
Oh, I thought they were talking about mice. These are actual.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration deferred the decision to authorize COVID-19 mRNA vaccines for infants younger than 6 months until more data are available because of the potential priming of the children's immune response that may alter their immunity.
Raids.
Where do I get in line? The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends offering the COVID-19 mRNA vaccines to breastfeeding individuals. Yep, they do. Although the possible passage of vaccine mRNA in breast milk resulting in infants' exposure at younger than 6 months, not investigated. So they recommended, even though this, okay, I'm just giving you this is what it says at the JAMA website. This isn't at RFK Jr.'s website. Does this sound okay to everybody? Maybe it does. It certainly does to me. I think everything's fantastic.
I would have to have 12 years of science studies before I even bother to read a study.
That's right.
Or do anything other than what I'm told.
So
what are you, a scientist? Did you go to science school? So you think you're going to say something about what goes in your body?
So I'm making a big infraction here in shit libbery.
I know.
I'm doing my own research.
And they've all moved on after hating your guts for it?
Yes.
They've all moved on. So they can't even believe. This is what I just encounter when I go out. I'm like, he just said some crap. And then you're like, well, have you seen the new thing? Like, what? No. They'll tell you how they don't look at any news, by the way, before they do this. Everyone I talk to.
Right. I know. They don't. Right.
So what are the odds I'm wrong, dude? And you, the guy who just told me you don't know anything.
Right. And so they don't even realize what I was saying. What I was saying was I was against vaccine mandates. I wasn't against vaccines. I was against the vaccine mandates. And I was trying to show people that these things didn't do what you were told that they did. And the reason why I knew that was because Dr. Robert Malone, the guy who invented the mRNA vaccine technology, on my show told me that you can't vaccinate your way out of the pandemic because it's a leaky vaccine.
What, that quack that invented the technology for the vaccine?
And so no matter what, now you see how vaccinated everybody is, and everybody got, and I'm not saying, so everybody is going to get COVID. That was what Andy Slavitt was saying, Biden's first guy in charge of the vaccine. That's what Fauci has now finally come around to saying. So here, the study investigated whether the COVID-19 vaccine mRNA can be detected in the expressed breast milk, that's called EBM, of lactating individuals receiving the vaccination within 6 months after delivery. The limitations of this study include the relatively small sample size and the lack of functional studies demonstrating whether detected vaccine mRNA is translationally active. So there's not enough studies. This is what I'm getting when I read this and when I do my own research. Also, we did not test the possible cumulative vaccine mRNA exposure after frequent breastfeeding in infants. Not enough studies on any of this. That's what I get when I read this. They need way more studies. So it takes 10 years.
Well, they did one on everyone.
I know.
We just don't have the results of the study. We all participated.
We're going to wait 10 years. We'll get the results. Here's what they conclude. We believe it is safe to breastfeed after maternal COVID-19 vaccination. However, caution is warranted about breastfeeding children younger than 6 months in the first 48 hours after maternal vaccination until more safety studies are conducted. Yeah, that's why normally takes a lot longer. In addition, the potential interference of COVID-19 vaccine mRNA with the immune response to multiple routine vaccines given to infants during the first 6 months of age needs to be considered.
Is this guy a scientist? Because I don't consider things.
It is critical. It is critical that lactating individuals be included in future vaccination trials to better evaluate the effect of mRNA vaccines on lactation outcomes. So basically what I get from this is that thing they said definitely wasn't happening is happening, and we need way more study, but we don't have it. But go get it.
Oh, man. That's great. Great stuff, man.
This is well, you're in a unique position, Kurt, because people don't say to my face what they say to you.
I also, the better clubs here. Did Lori Kilmorton say something to Flappers?
Okay. So there you go. I'm just reporting that. I think that's nuts. But you can do with it what you want. There's the information.
It's just the depressing thing of it is nuts, but what's mainly nuts is when you just the average Joe you talk to, you realize it was never about. You could look up all the info you want. The whole point of it was like, I don't want to hear the thing that goes again. I want to cling to whatever is holding it together right now for me, and you're going to ruin it. Like Dottie Sandusky from the Sandusky. Remember Jerry Sandusky and his wife didn't go. Dottie doesn't go in the basement.
Yeah.
Dottie doesn't do research. That's all of them. They're all Dottie Sandusky.
Yeah. Virginia Beach, Richmond, Arlington, San Jose, Miami, West Palm Beach. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets and become a premium member while you're there.